Have you ever heard of the Newport Tower? Tucked away in a park in Rhode Island, this strange stone structure has puzzled historians and archaeologists for centuries. Officially, it's just the remains of a colonial-era windmill built by Governor Benedict Arnold's grandfather. But what if it's something much, much older? What if it's a clue to a secret history of America, a history that begins long before Columbus ever set sail? Today, we're diving deep into one of America's greatest architectural mysteries. We'll explore the tantalizing theory that this tower wasn't built by colonists at all, but by the legendary Knights Templar, hundreds of years before the so-called discovery of the New World. Let's start with the most popular alternative theory. For decades, researchers have pointed out striking similarities between the Newport Tower and medieval European structures, specifically the round churches built by the Knights Templar. These warrior monks, famous for their role in the Crusades, were also master builders and navigators. The theory goes that after their persecution in 1307, a group of Templars fled Europe with their legendary treasure and perhaps even the Holy Grail itself, and made their way to North America. Could the Newport Tower have been their secret outpost, a sacred sanctuary built in a new, promised land? The architecture is certainly suggestive. It's a circular stone tower supported by 8 arches, a design highly unusual for a colonial windmill. Windmills of that era were typically built from wood or were a different shape entirely. The Newport Tower's design, however, perfectly matches Templar preceptories and round churches found across Europe, like the Holy Sepulchre in Cambridge, England. The number 8 itself is deeply symbolic in Templar and Christian traditions, representing resurrection and rebirth. This connection to the Templars opens up a fascinating world of pre-Columbian exploration. We often think of Columbus as the first European to arrive, but there's growing evidence that Vikings, Irish monks, and perhaps others reached these shores centuries earlier. If the Templars did have advanced navigational knowledge, and many believe they inherited it from ancient sources, a transatlantic voyage wouldn't have been impossible. They possessed a vast fleet and immense wealth. The question isn't could they have done it, but did they? The mystery deepens when we consider the legends associated with the Templars. They were the guardians of powerful relics, with the Holy Grail being the most famous. Imagine a small group of knights escaping persecution, carrying this sacred object to a new continent to protect it. It sounds like a Hollywood movie, but some researchers believe the Newport Tower was designed to be a shrine for just such a purpose. The symbolism embedded in its structure, from its circular shape representing eternity to its specific astronomical alignments, points to a sacred function, not a mundane one like grinding corn. But the Templar theory isn't the only alternative. Another intriguing idea links the tower to John Dee, the famous mathematician, astronomer, and occultist, who served as a trusted advisor to Queen Elizabeth I. Dee was obsessed with the idea of a British Empire in the New World, what he called Atlantis. He believed England had a pre-existing claim to North America, dating back to King Arthur and a Welsh prince named Madoc. According to this theory, Dee masterminded a secret expedition in the late 16th century to establish a colony in Narragansett Bay. The Newport Tower would have served as a watchtower and a symbolic marker of English dominion, designed by Dee himself using principles of sacred geometry and alchemy. This would place its construction before the official founding of the colonies, but still much later than the Templar era. It's a compelling idea, connecting the tower to the magical and political intrigues of the Elizabethan court. Whichever theory you lean towards, the tower's design is undeniably sophisticated. This isn't just a pile of rocks. It's a marvel of engineering and astronomy. Researchers in archaeoastronomy have discovered that the tower's windows are not randomly placed. They create precise alignments with the sun, moon, and even the planet Venus during key astronomical events like solstices. For example, on the winter solstice, the setting sun shines through a specific window to illuminate a keystone in an interior archway. Another window seems to track the 18.6-year cycle of the moon. These aren't coincidences. This level of astronomical precision is found in ancient sacred sites all over the world, from Stonehenge to the pyramids of Giza. It suggests the builders had a profound understanding of the cosmos and wanted to embed that knowledge into the very fabric of the structure. A simple colonial windmill wouldn't require such complex alignments. A sacred temple or an astronomical observatory, on the other hand, would. Let's talk about the stone itself. Much of the tower is built from local stone, but there's one particular type that stands out, Cumberlandite. This is a unique, iron-rich rock that is magnetic, found almost exclusively in a specific area of Rhode Island not far from Newport. In esoteric traditions, magnetic stones or lodestones were considered magical. They were symbols of guidance, attraction, and hidden power. Was the inclusion of Cumberlandite a deliberate, symbolic choice by the builders? Was it meant to imbue the tower with a special energy or purpose, connecting it to the land itself? The connections don't stop there. The web of secret societies is intricate. The Templars, after their suppression, are said to have gone underground, their traditions and knowledge passing into other groups, most notably the Cistercian order of monks and later, the Freemasons. Many of America's founding fathers were Freemasons, and they were deeply interested in esoteric symbolism and ancient history. Could they have known the true story of the tower? Was it part of a hidden legacy they inherited? The design of the tower, with its arches and pillars, resonates strongly with Masonic symbolism. The legend of the Templar treasure and its journey to the New World is a cornerstone of certain Masonic rites. It's a tangled web, but it all points back to one central idea, that the Newport Tower is a physical link to a secret stream of history, a history of esoteric knowledge passed down through generations. So, where does this leave us? On one side, you have mainstream academia, which, based on radiocarbon dating from the 1990s and historical records, firmly concludes the tower is a 17th century windmill. The dating tests on the mortar seem to support this, placing its construction in the mid to late 1600s. They dismiss the alternative theories as romantic fantasy, arguing that the architectural similarities are just coincidences and the astronomical alignments are simply the result of chance. On the other side, you have a passionate community of independent researchers who argue that the evidence is being misinterpreted. They point out that radiocarbon dating of mortar can be unreliable, as old mortar can be contaminated by newer carbon. They argue that the sheer number of anomalies, the architecture, the astronomy, the symbolism, the geology, cannot all be dismissed as coincidence. They believe that academic historians are too rigid and unwilling to consider a narrative that would rewrite the first chapter of American history. Ultimately, the Newport Tower stands as a monument to a question. It forces us to ask, what do we really know about our past? Is history the neat linear story we learn in school? Or is it messier, more mysterious, with hidden chapters still waiting to be discovered? Perhaps the tower is exactly what the history books say it is, a colonial windmill. But perhaps it's a Templar church, a secret Elizabethan observatory, or something else we haven't even imagined. The lack of a definitive answer is what makes it so captivating. It's a piece of the past that refuses to give up its secrets, inviting each of us to look at the evidence and decide for ourselves. What do you think? Is it a windmill, or is it a gateway to a lost chapter of history? Let me know your theories down in the comments. The truth, whatever it may be, is still out there, waiting to be found within those enigmatic stone walls. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this journey into the unknown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more historical mysteries. See you next time.